It's afternoons with me, Helen Farmer, with Eye on Education, and it's competition time. I would love to send you along with a +1 for a date night or a mate night to Oya. It's a gorgeous Greek restaurant with the pool at JA Ocean View Hotel, and you could be winning the Santorini Sunset Package. This is unlimited drinks and a sharing meze platter for two. Sounds pretty good to me, to be honest. I can't win, but you can. You'll be going along to this really vibrant resort in the heart of JBR. The views are fantastic, direct beach access, and as I said, unlimited drinks and some nibbles too. To go into the draw, tell me this. Which two colours are famously associated with Santorini's cliffside buildings? Very distinctive. Is it white and blue or yellow and black? That's all you need to tell me on 4001. You could use the ARN Play app and the WhatsApp if you prefer, which is 04871 5500. Please don't forget to put your name on it so you can go into the draw. Which two colours are famously associated with Santorini? White and blue or yellow and black to win?
This is Eye on Education on Afternoons with Helen Farmer.
With Horizon International School, a supportive student-focused international community school offering premium quality British education from the ages of 3 to 18.
We are talking education this afternoon. It's a question you might not expect to hear in Dubai. Would you send your child to a boarding school right here in the UAE? The idea of modern boarding is really evolving beyond the cold dormitories and midnight mischief. And today we're exploring what modern day boarding looks like in 2025, building independence, boosting academics. We're joined by Rich Myers, who is the head of boys boarding at Repton Dubai, to unpack some of the benefits, challenges, and what life on campus is really like. Now, we came to Repton Dubai, Rich, a few weeks ago, and it is like Hogwarts. It's an amazing, amazing campus.
It is wonderful. And I realize the timing of this interview is perfect, Helen, because you'll have a lot of parents sitting in Dubai traffic right now outside of busy schools, maybe fantasizing about maybe my son could be in their boarding house right now or daughter, and I don't need to be sitting in this parking lot.
I didn't know until, I've been in Dubai 18 years. I didn't know until quite recently that there was boarding in the UAE. But actually it makes a lot of sense when you think about the demographic in terms of people travelling, people's lifestyles, people living from outside the region, wanting safety and security of the UAE. But I guess, would you mind, kind of opening the door and lifting the lid? What can pupils expect to experience at boarding at Repton Dubai? What does it look like?
Yeah, so it's a great question, and it's a very fascinating thing for us to uncover, because I think sort of recently it was international people traveling in and out of through Dubai, and what we're finding in both the boys and the girls boarding now is people coming from the UK, people coming from the US. They're attracted to the international vibrancy of it, also the safety, the interdependence, that this is actually going to be great for their son or their daughter to launch them into university and professional life after. So it is almost one of these great discoveries we've noticed, and the popularity is just surging as more and more people become aware. Yes.
How many kids are there, Rich?
So we have over 100 boarders, and we really are, we are at our capacity at the moment. Wow. And I think the wonderful thing about it is the staffing that we have. So we have 10 full-time member of boarding staff to support our 100 boarders. I think a 10-to-1 ratio is another thing that you just wouldn't get in other boarding schools around the world. And we put priority on our pastoral care and support for our boarders. Can
I ask about this kind of us and them mentality? As I said to you off air, my husband went to boarding school, and we've got friends who are sending their kids to boarding in the UK, and some there are the day pupils, and then there are the boarders. Is there a bit of an us and them? What's that kind of integration like?
So I don't see that as much, because I think what we have is a more sort of flexible approach to boarding. And obviously our boarders are boarders, and there's things that we want them to be doing. But, some of our boarders might be full-time tennis players. Some of our boarders will be polo players. Some of our boarders will be competitive swimmers. And they're almost on a Olympic pathway or a high-performance pathway. So our boarding staff, one of our boarding staffs, Mr. Lomax, he's specialized in a high-performance program. So there's a section of boarders that are into that. Mm-hmm. We have other ones that are dedicated academics that are going into top-flight universities. So we have a pathway for them. So whilst you'll get in a lot of traditional boarding schools, this is our model and deal with it. Whereas we have the flexibility and the support from our wonderful SLT and governors to say, what can we offer and how can we be flexible and meet our students to get the best of them?
I've got so many questions, so just bear with me. The pastoral care, I think, is crucial, and you're a dad yourself.
Yep.
How does the school ensure the pupils are cared for away from home? And this is something I think about a lot with my own kids. If they come home from school, I can tell when they've had a bad day. Yeah. I can pick up on their behaviour, something they say, something they don't say, and that's always my worry with boarding school. That as a parent, you don't know if your kid has had a bad day by looking at them. I know there's Zooms and I know there's modern way of communication, but that pastoral care is just so crucial.
Yeah. So, myself and Miss Evans is the head of girls boarding. Between us, we have nearly 20 years of boarding experience, and does our staff. So we are co-parenting, and we explain that to parents when they join us. And what that means is, in a way, we will see their son or daughter more than the parents will. But we will be there at 3 o'clock when they come in the door, and we will see, right, I can see you're upset. I know something happened today. Or, well done on that fantastic achievement. Let's celebrate you and everything done. And a lot of parents who send their children to us want to be able to do that, but they can't. The busy lives, the traveling lives, it takes up too much of their time. So what better option than to come to us? And like I said, with that level of staff and support that we have, we can be there to be that support system that the parents need. Here
come the weird questions. What does a typical day look like? Can you walk us through, from wake up to where they're eating, how, academics come into play, and then what happens after school and into evenings?
Sure. So the whole boarding philosophy is based on routine. And, you look at people like Dr. Andrew Huberman and the benefits of routine, and this is what young people are so desperately in need of. So, we wake them up early. Some of them will already be up because they'll be playing sports, they'll be in their gym, they'll be playing tennis. But everyone's up, and then we have a roll call, announcements for the day, and off to school. And you mentioned that us versus them mentality. Once they're off to school, so breakfast, they're just like another day student at Repton. So they have their teachers, they have their heads of year, they have their academic tutors, and then when the day ends, they'll come back. And they'll have their ECAs and their afternoon ECAs. They will have their supper, as and it's a sort of family style supper. Phones are away. You're having those conversations at the table with your friends.
What's the food like, Rich?
I think it's good. Every boarder in the history of boarding will complain about the food.
No, my husband said it was amazing. He still talks about like the lasagnas.
Yeah. Anyway. So, some people are put off from whatever they have in boarding, they never have again.
How
but
funny.
I think our catering company does a very good job with the food.
So dinner and then
supervised prep. So, I have boarders from 8 years ago who were in my boarding house that told me all through university they had prep at 7 o'clock. And what everyone was doing at University of Edinburgh, they're like, that's fine, but I have prep at 7 because they had just instilled that repetition into them at school. So we maintain that. And so they'll have an hour and 15 minutes of prep in the evening. And then you've got to go play sports. You've got to go do something now from after you have your prep done. So work's done, you're organized, you're ready for the next day. And then go off with your friends or check in with your family. And then 9 o'clock, it's roll call and devices are in for our junior students. So we are as worried about phones and devices as all of you parents out there.
Probably more so. You know too much.
Very much so. And so we keep a close eye on that as well and make sure they're getting enough sleep. And then again, ready for the next day.
We're going to talk about weekends next. If you've got any questions for Rich, who's in the studio, Rich Myers is the head of boys boarding at Repton Dubai. Then you can reach out on 4001. Be very happy to hear from you. And after past, we're meeting a student.
Dubai Eye 103.8 traffic.
With Yas Island, Abu Dhabi. Stay at iconic hotels.
It's been way too long since we've played that. Lynyrd Skynyrd with Sweet Home Alabama on Dubai Eye 103.8. It is 24 minutes past 3.
This is Eye on Education on Afternoons with Helen Farmer.
With Horizon International School, a supportive student-focused international community school offering premium quality British education from the ages of 3 to 18.
More parents are seeking structure, independence, academic rigour for their children. So boarding school is no longer just that British tradition. It's taking root right here in Dubai. Repton Dubai leading the way, as we've been hearing, offering a full boarding experience within that world-class international school. So what do pupils gain from living on campus? We're going to be hearing from one after past. And how does it shape their future? Rich Myers is here, the head of boys boarding, lifting the lid on life behind the boarding house doors. We've been talking about what happens in the evenings. What about the weekends? It's a challenge that all Dubai parents have, which is like, what do we do with the kids? So what do you do with the kids?
Yeah, so imagine taking 50 of them somewhere. Yeah, so our weekend provision is I think world class, and it's something that we do every Sunday during term time. We do a trip, and it might be up in the hills in Hatta, it might be zip lining in Abu Dhabi, it might be going to the mall and loading up on gifts before a big holiday. But we guarantee that we will take all of our boarders out for a lovely Sunday trip. And especially in the cooler months, getting them to sort of overcome some adversity, climbing a big wall,
Yes.
taking part in a Tough Mudder, doing something that really challenges and stresses them in a way with us sort of leading the charge and supporting them. But in between that, weekends are quite long in Dubai with school ending at 12 o'clock. So we have swimming sessions, we have lifeguards, we have gym sessions, we have boys coming in and out and doing their clubs, their MMA clubs, the things that they do outside of school. So we are sure to keep them plenty busy.
Okay, good to know. I alluded to it earlier about Zooms and communication with parents. It's changed an awful lot, certainly post-COVID, this idea of video calls and our phones being a way of keeping in touch. What role do parents play in that boarding experience, and how do they maintain communication with the families?
Yeah, so our most successful boarders are the ones that parents are sort of firmly co-parenting alongside us. So the ones that are involved with us, keeping regular contact, getting updates, receiving updates. And a lot of parents struggle with that. So because of their busy schedules, so they elect responsible guardians or have a guardianship agency, and they sort of fill the void that way. But yeah, so the people that we've had the best success with over the years in boarding, the parents get involved as much as they can. If they're going to be through the area, they'll come in, they'll come meet us, come say hello, maybe meet a few teachers, take their son or daughter out for an evening or a weekend. And, again, we have that flexibility to allow them to spend as much time with family as they can, and then take them back in and get them back into the routine of school.
What advice then, Rich, would you give parents who are considering boarding for their child, whether that's here in Dubai or indeed you worked in Scotland for a number of years as well? What are some of the need to knows?
So I think first and foremost, ask, does your son or daughter want to be a boarder? I think we can all say, yes, boarding would work for, 15-year-old boy, 16-year-old girl, but are they interested? I think if they really want to do this, and you've had that discussion with them, and you've brought them on the tour, and you've asked around and done your research, and they're genuinely interested and they want to pursue this, when certain challenges happen in life, they will be able to push through and persevere through those challenges because they want to be there. Mm-hmm. When it gets difficult, when it gets tough, stresses of exams and busy life, if they don't want to be there, it will be more and more difficult for them. So please get them on board and explore the different options you have. Please go to Repton Dubai. Please go to the UK. Find out what the best situation will be for you and your child if boarding is the right answer for you.
And lastly, I guess some of the challenges that students face in boarding, how do you help them overcome them?
We're solutions-based. So, we've seen thousands of different scenarios. And so how can we help? How can we support? There's lots of provisions that we have at the school in the academic side of things and the support side of things. And then we have such a varied and diverse boarding staff that, is it too much? Is it too little? Do we need to pull back a little? Or do we need to ramp it up? Mm-hmm. And we will definitely try and find a solution that works for each individual one of our boarders. And it's our responsibility to try, and it's their responsibility to try together to find the best solution for them.
We've just had a question, so I'm going to squeeze it in. Rob wants to know, what are the rooms/dorms like? See, we all want to know this. I asked you this off air. Go on.
Yeah, number one question. So they're lovely. They're very good, and they're constantly getting upgraded. And one thing you'll find is the investment boarding here is slightly different in that it continually gets upgraded and improved. So our junior pupils, anyone in year 7, 8, 9, and 10 will have a roommate, likely a roommate from a different nationality, someone to learn about, someone to converse with. And then our senior pupils in their exam years, so that's year 11, 12, 13, will have single rooms, an area to focus, but also common space to socialize and not just sort of spend too much of their time in their room.
Tell you what, if you want to send me the word school, I'll send you the link for Repton Dubai so you can have a little bit of a nosy, whether it's for you or indeed someone from outside the UAE. Rich, we're going to meet one of your students next. I'm excited to have a little chat with Tamer. So if you've got any questions, do reach out on 4001. If you want to send me the word school to that same number, I will send you the link. Thanks, Rich. Pleasure to meet you.
Thank you, Helen. Thanks so much.
Your ARN News.
Good afternoon, I'm Noni Edwards. At the UN